Right, I'm about to give you a sneak peek into the inner sanctum of how I edit my videos like a pro. In this video, what you're going to see is me editing videos outside of the YouTube editor, so that I have got more options available to me to make really highly polished videos. So you can see here, this is me working in iMovie, okay, because I use a Mac. There's similar software for Windows, such as Windows Movie Maker, but iMovie is probably one of the most sophisticated, cheapest options for video editing software you can get for the Mac. Okay, so what you will see here are a series of different media. Okay, now what you do is you basically go to import. So you have to create the media first, you have to find it. So here you can see a series of pictures. So this is a picture, this is a picture, this is a picture, this is a picture, this is video. So as you'll probably see here, what I've done is I have downloaded a video, just like you saw in my previous video, which is putting SS in front of the YouTube instead of having www. And then you just download the video and then you import the media into your little media thing right here. Okay, and then what you do is once you've imported it, you just drag it down into here. So let me give you an example. If I import a picture now of little Kelly, we go to my desktop. So here's a picture of evil little Kelly. So let me just use that and import it into my imported section. Okay, now if I wanted to add this, all I do is I just highlight it and then I drag it into the video. Okay, so it would, and then you just place it. You can see there's a little line which shows where it's going to appear, and then you just drop it in. That's as simple as that. And then there we are. You've dropped it in there. And then what happens is by default it does this pan and zoom thing. Okay, it's called a Ken Burns effect, and I think Ken Burns was some kind of photographer or filmer. So basically, what you do to correct this, because this picture wasn't a landscape picture, it's actually just a square photo. The only way it's made it fit in this screen is to actually do the Ken Burns effect. So it's easy to actually edit this. All you do is go to cropping, and then you put crop to fill. And then you can select a section, or you can put fit the whole thing in. And then what will happen is when you play it, it will appear like that. Okay, but you can see I've used the pan and zoom all over the place. So you can see this is just the crop to fit. This is a Ken Burns. That's just a crop to fit. And you can see that basically what I do is I do a series of different ones. There's a Ken Burns. Okay, so to make sure that the video has some variety, you have to play about. Don't just make stills, make moving shots like this one. Okay, all you do is you just simply highlight it. So if we go into that, we will see that we've got a Ken Burns here. So if we go back to Ken Burns, what you can do is you can see, you can control where the image starts and where it finishes. So if you want to zoom in, you just simply put it ending on her eyes, and we could start it out like this. So it takes up the whole width and then it zooms into her eyes. So now if we apply that and look at how that looks, there we are. You can see that happening. And you can dictate how long the image stays up for with this. You just drag it. So you can make it last for minutes. You can make it last for 3.5 seconds. Okay, so there we are. So that is how you add photos or media. Same with video. You know, this was a video. The whole video was in here, whole 15 minutes. But what I did was I cropped it. So I just basically pinched the end of the video and just dragged it down so that it fit with the video I wanted. Because I didn't want too much video. I just wanted enough to make people see some live action. So here we are. So you actually see some live action from the video. And this was the only video I used in this production. So you now know how you can import and control the length of video. You know how you can import pictures and make it zoom or make it fit the resolution of the screen. Now, how do you add these little overlays? So if we go back to this one, how do you add the one? And how do you add like the Kelly Fitzsimons? This is simple. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that for free right now. So the way in which you do that is if we go to a website called cooltext.com. And this is all you have to do. So let me use the exact font I used for that video. So here we are. So all we did was we just put 1 bracket, and then there we are, we've got it. Now, what size do you want it? What kind of font do you want? That's all controllable, but I want it to stay like this. The only difference is that I actually want the colours to change. So what we do here, if I wanted pink, we just put pink as the start colour, so the top colour. And then the bottom colour, so how it looks at the bottom, we could change to like blue, for instance. And it creates this like pinky blue purple effect. And you can just completely edit this, how it looks. And then you can take off the shadow, so there's currently a shadow. And if we look in the video, there is no shadow. So we take the shadow off. So what we do is we just put shadow type, no shadow. And then we've got a flat number there. The image, this is fine. This you can just do alignment, but this doesn't matter for this because we're just using this one thing. Now, what we want is we want transparency. So you can actually have a bit of a background for this if you want. But I don't want any background. All I want is a transparent background. And you can see that with the little checked marks. It means it's transparent. That means you can overlay this on top of something and there's no background to the actual image. So now that we've got this, what we do is we just go create logo. There we are, we've got it there. And then we just download the image. And then you will see this will start downloading now in the bottom. And then we can import that into iMovie. So let me show you how we do that. So if we go back to iMovie and we go to import, and then we've got our cool text right here. So we'll add that right now to the import area. And then let's say we wanted to add that one on here. So let's make this just a tiny bit longer so I've got some space. Let's put it 42 seconds as an example. Okay, and now we can actually zoom in on this by just zooming in on the video right here. So there we are. So it's made it a bit bigger. So what we need to do is we need to get this one and we just add it as an overlay. So we just put it on top. And there we will see it's really zoomed in. We don't want that. So what we do is we go into the number and we go to this first option here. Now this is selected as cutaway. So we don't want that. What we want is picture in picture. That gives you more control. Now you can see here that the top and the bottom of this image have been taken off. But we won't worry about that for a second. Now we want that one to appear in here and we want to make it slightly smaller. And there we are. So now we've got the one placed, and that is picture in picture. And then what you do is now that we've got this selected, we've got that selected, so we go into here, we take it off the Ken Burns and we just put fit. And there we are. Now you will see that number 1 appearing up here. So there we are. You see that number 1. That's how you do it. And you can make that one for last as long as you want. You just drag it out. And there we are. That is how you add the one. So if we go back to this bit right here, that's how I added the number 1. And now you can see also how I did the Kelly Fitzsimons. I did exactly the same. So instead of just having a 1, what I did was go back to cool text. If we go to edit image, just to show you an example, we can put Kelly, well, we'll just put it in capitals. Kelly Fitzsimons. There we are, we've got it. It's got a transparent background. We can change the colour. So it was kind of like an orangey colour, wasn't it? So we can make it kind of orangey. And then end on a deeper orange like that. Or maybe even red. And there we are. Now we've got some nice shading on it. And then we've got it. And then all we need to do, it's got a transparent background already. We can take out the outline if we want. We can, just make it look like this. Or we can make it orange so that it's blended in. You can do all sorts with the background. You can do all sorts with this software. And it's completely free, but we'll have it as black. And then we'll create logo. Download the image. It's downloading. And then if we go back to iMovie, we'll import that downloaded image. There we are. It's there. And it's right here. So if we take out the 1, because we don't need that anymore. I've shown you how you can add numbers now. There we are. And as you could see before, again, this does the whole cutaway look. It looks terrible. Make sure you don't do this, because look at that. That looks terrible. All you do is you just click on the image you've imported. You select picture in picture, and there you've got it, right there. And then you take off the Ken Burns effect. You make it a fit effect, and there we are. Now it's appeared. And now if you double click it, you can edit how it looks. So if we just go like this, we can enlarge it and just place it. Once you place it, it's saved already. There we are. Look at that. So simple. And you can see exactly how I did it. Number 1, little Kelly's name is Kelly Fitzsimons. So there we are. So that's how you can see it done. So we're going to delete that. We're going to delete that. And now I'm going to show you a little bit more. So what I have done also is I have added audio. So I've recorded the audio separately. How did I do the audio? Well, I did it using ScreenFlow. So if we go to ScreenFlow, this is another, there you are, you can see my face right here. So if what we can do with ScreenFlow is we can take out record video, we can take out record desktop, and then you can just do record audio. So as long as you've got a microphone, and I've got a Yeti microphone, just press record and you can start recording the audio. Okay, and then once you've made the audio, you save it as a file, you export it to your Mac, and then you import it into your iMovie, and then you have it sitting underneath. So what I normally do is I normally play the video while I am doing the audio. All it's recording is my voice. On my Mac, I can actually play the video while I'm recording so that I can make sure that what I'm recording for audio matches what's happening on the screen. That's a nice little trick into how to do that. It's so good, so easy. And then, so as I said, I just get the audio, I import it, and I place it underneath. So when you put anything on top of the images or videos, it's overlay. If you put anything underneath, that's audio. So above the photos is overlay, below the photos or videos is audio, okay? And all you have to do is just drag it underneath. That's how you do it, okay? Simple as anything. I hope that this has really helped you because this is so simple. And then the last thing I do is if, for instance, you didn't want to do this, so, you know, have 8 and then the text there, what you could actually do is you could just have it so that you put number 1 and then Kelly Fitzsimons on one of these images. So let me show you how to do that. Again, really simple. And I could show you how to create this like little end slate as well. So how you do that is you go to picmonkey.com. Okay, so when you put edit a photo, you know, you could basically use any of the photos on your computer, which you can just open and add to here, or you could just use one of the photos they give you. So what we're going to do is we're going to crop this to YouTube's resolution sizes. So we'll scale the photo, put 1280 by 720, and now we've got a proper YouTube sized picture here. We'll apply that. And then we change the canvas color. So I'm going to change it to black so that I make it look exactly like the end slate. So you crop it first and then you change the canvas color. Then we add some text. So if we go down here, we go to the text field. And then we just simply add some text. So just going to add text and then it puts some text here. And then I'll put thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Okay, then you highlight that. You've got this little text editor here, so we'll centralize it. We'll make it bigger. And then we can make it wider right there. And we'll change the color straight away so that we know what we're seeing. So we can change that color right here from black to white. Move that out of the way slightly. Enlarge this. And then we go down and look at the fonts that PicMonkey give you. You can use their fonts or you can use your own fonts. So I'm going to use their fonts because they've got a really nice one in here, which is the one that I always use, which is this one, Shadows into Light 2. And there we are. That looks pretty much exactly the same as this one right here. Okay, so you have to just save it as an image. So if we go back to here, if we go to click save, so let me just make it look a little bit better. Thanks for watching, exclamation mark, then put save. We can just save it as an image. So it saves it at the exact right size for YouTube. And then we just put here end slate. Now you can make this look as fancy as you want, and I'm going to show you how to make a pro end slate in just 2 seconds. But here we are, save to my computer. It will then save it, and then you just import it and drag it in like we did before. So if we save this in downloads, save, we'll save it. There we are, saved. And then what we do is we go back into iMovie. We'll take this out because we've got a new one. Import the new one. So here we are. There's the end slate. So we click it and we drag it in. And there we are. It looks exactly the same now. And we just put that towards the end of the audio so that it stays there long enough that people actually do like and subscribe. And then we just put size to fit. And there we are. Just stays there at the end. How perfect is that? Now let me show you quickly my pro end slate. Look at this. Okay. You've got an end slate right here, which looks very professional. You've got a video showing, and then you've got some text. So you've got, watch these videos. And I've put some annotations around this so that if you click into this, it will take you straight to that video and straight into this video. So how you do this is so simple.